Lately, something strange has been unfolding between Canada and the US. Donald Trump isn't just throwing around tariffs or loud threats anymore. He's been playing a deeper game. Instead of sticking to the usual political routes, he started using backdoor channels, reaching out through unofficial contacts and outsiders who have zero authority in real negotiations. And this week, that hidden strategy finally came into the spotlight. Once again, a Conservative MP made a solo trip to Washington, claiming he was just trying to help Canada's trade talks. But within hours, Mark Carney and Melanie Joly stepped in, calm but firm, and shut the whole thing down fast. Their quick reaction didn't just stop one rogue visit, it revealed something much bigger that's been brewing behind closed doors. When Conservative MP Jivani announced he was heading to Washington to assist with trade negotiations, he painted it as some noble, patriotic, cross-party mission. But in the world of real diplomacy, this move was seriously out of bounds. It wasn't just strange. It was a bold and risky play that raised a lot of eyebrows across Ottawa and Washington alike. Trade negotiations aren't some casual meet-and-greet mission. They're tightly run operations. Every move goes through official diplomatic channels, managed by the Prime Minister's office, Global Affairs Canada, and seasoned professionals who know how to handle international pressure. So when Jivani jumped into the mix, it instantly raised alarms. He wasn't the opposition's trade critic, and he had zero authority to speak for Canada, not even close. Still, Jivani acted like he had real pull in Washington, as if he could sway the direction of talks himself. That stunt made people start asking tough questions. Was he honestly trying to help his country, or was he chasing a moment in the spotlight to boost his own political image? The timing and optics were way too convenient.
Well, to the crash in Alberta, it's a tragedy. It's a nightmare of every parent, every teammate, family, friends, and my heart goes out to obviously to the families of the victims and the team.
En français, Monsieur Carney.
En français, en Alberta, c'est une tragédie, c'est le cauchemar de toutes les familles, tous les membres d'équipe, des amis, et mes pensées sont avec les familles, l'équipe et la ville.
Are you meeting with Mr. Collier?
I am, yes.
Madame le ministre, qu'est-ce que vous pensez de l'éditorial du Globe and Mail qui disait que grâce à vos cibles d'immigration francophone ou à cause de vos cibles d'immigration francophone et des immigrants qualifiés anglophones qui ne rentrent pas au pays, c'est mal pour l'économie?
On est très fiers de nos bilinguismes ici au Canada. C'est une chose qui est très unique pour nous. Et mon mandat est de travailler pour améliorer l'immigration francophone ici, et je continue à faire ça.
Est-ce que vous suivez au Québec le programme d'expérience québécoise? Le Québec abandonne son programme d'expérience québécoise, le PEC. Il y a beaucoup d'immigrants qui perdent leur statut au Québec. Est-ce que le fédéral peut faire quelque chose pour ces gens-là?
J'ai eu une réunion avec le ministre Robage le vendredi. Excusez-moi.
Vous pouvez prendre votre temps, pas de souci, pas de souci. Ça va?
Oui. Alors, j'ai eu une réunion avec le ministre Robert le vendredi passé, ou le jeudi passé. Et je suis en train de travailler avec lui pour faire tout ce que je peux faire comme ministre fédéral. Mais le Québec a le seul pouvoir pour tous les programmes économiques dans sa province. Alors, c'est nécessaire pour lui à travailler avec nous aussi.
Mais ce Québec dit
non, merci.
Le renouvellement des permis. Excusez-moi, vous pouvez poser ma question.
Questions?
You have a strategy, but
Yes.
we're expecting to be soon. Do you have an ETA when it's going to be coming out? And can you talk about if the decision's been made to scrap or restructure the EU mandate, or what will happen with that?
So, of course, we're coming up with another strategy. It's important because we know our auto workers are right now feeling the brunt of the U.S. unjustified and unjustifiable tariffs. Of course, I've been thinking a lot and working a lot on making sure that the workers that have been affected by the loss of the third shift at GM in Oshawa be at the core of our new investments we're working on. I was in contact with Premier Ford this morning again, and with Vic Fideli again, as we're working to find solutions for the auto workers. when it comes to the auto strategy itself, when it will be ready, and you'll be the first one to know.
Est-ce que c'est une menace existentielle sur Bombardier, les menaces américaines pour la certification d'avions?
Donc, mon collègue, le ministre des Transports, Stephen McKinnon, est en communication avec plusieurs intervenants dans le dossier. J'ai parlé encore hier avec Éric Martel, le PDG de Bombardier. C'est un fleuron québécois et canadien qui est très, très important pour nous et nous allons tout faire, bien entendu, pour soutenir la compagnie et le secteur aéronautique. Entre-temps, vous savez, nous avons donné un contrat de 6 avions à Bombardier au mois de décembre dernier qui va faire en sorte justement qu'il va pouvoir avoir un maintien d'effectifs. Je suis également en contact avec la présidente du syndicat de Unifor, Lana Payne, qui représente autant le secteur automobile, qui représente également les employés chez Bombardier. Et on va être là pour autant les employés dans le secteur de l'automobile que dans le secteur de l'aérospatiale.
On electric vehicles, is the mandate remaining and are incentives coming back?
So, as you know, the auto strategy is being worked on, and these are different conversations we're having, and when we'll be ready to announce it, you'll be the first one to know.
L'argent que vous réclamez à Stellantis et GM, avez-vous dit c'était combien que vous réclamez d'eux?
Donc, l'objectif, lorsque vient le fait de rapatrier des fonds qui ont été donnés à ces compagnies en échange de promesses de leur part d'augmenter leur présence au Canada, était justement de faire en sorte qu'on puisse avoir notre argent, notre évaluation. Présentement, c'est dépendamment de la situation, c'est des centaines de millions. On aura l'occasion de donner plus d'informations sous peu là-dessus.
Est-ce que c'est la totalité des subventions qui avaient été versées?
C'est une très grande partie des sommes. Vous savez qu'une grande partie des sommes était liée à la production. Donc, s'il n'y a pas de production, bien entendu, il n'y a pas eu d'argent qui a été versé.
Stephen Harper's portrait's going to be...
Do you mind just repeating that in English? You're going to try to claw back that from Stellantis for the fact that they're pulling out production.
So I've already said that we would get our money back from Stellantis and also from GM. We're in evaluation mode right now as to how much. Of course, a lot of our support was linked to production, and therefore, if there was no production, obviously there was no funding. And so that's what we are focused on, and I'll have more to say on Stellantis in the coming days. And we're also in contact with GM. At this point, when it comes to GM also, back in December, we decided to reduce their remission quotas. Basically, the amount of cars they can bring to Canada without tariffs have been reduced because obviously they've decided to shut down Ingersoll, and now they're going after the third shift in Oshawa.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Prime Minister Stephen Harper's legacy.
Puis les incitatifs sur les véhicules électriques, est-ce que ça pourrait faire partie de cette stratégie?
Bien, sur la question de la stratégie automobile, notre objectif est de l'annoncer dans les prochains jours. Vous aurez l'occasion d'entendre plus d'informations sous peu et on aura pris des décisions là-dessus d'ici là. Donc, vous êtes les premiers à le connaître, à le savoir. L'autre chose concernant les questions de rémission et de financement, dans le fond, du secteur automobile, on est en train d'évaluer les sommes qui vont être associées au remboursement que l'on va réclamer de la part de Stellantis. On a des conversations également avec GM. L'appui à ces compagnies-là est en fonction de la production aussi. Donc, s'il n'y a pas eu de production, il n'y a pas eu d'argent qui a été déversé par le gouvernement fédéral. Donc, c'est pour ça que on est en train de finaliser les sommes qu'on réclame, mais sachez que c'est quand même des centaines de millions de dollars.
Prime Minister Stephen Harper, what's his legacy? What is he?
And then came the detail that really turned heads: his cozy relationship with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. The fact that this connection kept being mentioned again and again only deepened the cloud of suspicion around his so-called mission. Mark Carney didn't waste a second. His response came fast and sharp. But instead of going after Jivani personally or turning it into a dramatic showdown, Carney played it smart. He calmly flipped the story, hinting that Jivani's trip seemed more like a grab for headlines than any kind of real diplomatic mission. That move spoke volumes. Carney's message was crystal clear. Canada's foreign policy isn't a side hustle for politicians looking to make a name for themselves. He made it clear that serious diplomacy runs through official, structured channels, not through random political road trips. And just to make his point stick, he reminded everyone that Canada already keeps tight, ongoing communication with U.S. officials at the highest levels. No gaps, no need for freelancers jumping in uninvited. This wasn't just about one MP going rogue, it was about defending Canada's credibility on the world stage. But then came another twist that got people talking. Who actually paid for Jivani's little Washington adventure? Was it his own money, some private donor, or did taxpayers unknowingly foot the bill? When reporters asked if Jivani's trip had been funded by party resources, there was still no straight answer. That silence spoke volumes. The lack of clarity only made the whole thing look like a clumsy political stunt instead of a serious diplomatic effort. And let's be real, at a time when Canadian workers are stressing over tariffs, factory closures, and shaky economic stability, flashy trips without transparency or authority don't just look bad, they're politically dangerous. But this moment can't be viewed in isolation. It ties into something much bigger. Donald Trump has been taking verbal swings at Canada for years, and lately he's turned up the heat. From tossing around 51st state jokes to threatening trade penalties to mocking Canada's industries, Trump's jabs have been relentless. Analysts in Washington have even said out loud that Canada takes up way too much space in Trump's political spotlight, and they're not wrong. This obsession isn't random, it's calculated. Trump's whole negotiation style thrives on unpredictability, pressure, and public drama. He uses chaos as leverage, and because Canada's economy is so tightly linked to U.S. markets, it makes the country an easy target for his high-stakes theatrics. That same playbook showed up again recently when he threatened to slap restrictions on Canadian-made aircraft, a move that hit nerves across both nations. Trump came out swinging again, this time threatening huge tariffs over aircraft certification issues that regulators were already handling. The moment he dropped that warning, the markets went into a tailspin, and just like before, nobody could figure out if he even had the legal authority to back it up. That's classic Trump. He throws the world off balance first, then maybe clears things up later, if ever. But the confusion doesn't stop at trade. Canada's fighter jet plans, especially the high-stakes F-35 program, have now gotten tangled in political pressure too. Ottawa's stuck in a tough spot. Should it keep tying its military systems to a partner who keeps tossing out threats of economic punishment? Or is it time to start looking toward European defense suppliers, even if that risks setting off tensions with Washington? There's no simple way out of this mess. Every choice has serious weight. Financial risks, security implications, and diplomatic fallout all on the line. And with Trump's unpredictable behavior constantly shaking things up, long-term stability feels more like a moving target than a solid plan. Mélanie Joly's response to the whole Jivani situation carried serious weight, and she didn't hold back. She laid it out plain and simple. When it comes to international negotiations, Canada speaks with one voice. No individual MP, no matter how well-intentioned, gets to play solo diplomat or freelance foreign policy. Joly drove home the point that real diplomacy takes discipline, teamwork, and trust between allies, not political side missions. But her message wasn't just aimed at Jivani. It was also a sharp reminder to Washington. Canada won't let internal politics or personal agendas mess with its negotiating power. By drawing that line in the sand, Joly was defending more than just process. She was protecting Canada's credibility on the global stage. Meanwhile, analysts in D.C. have started describing Trump's pattern using what they call the TACO framework. Trump always chickens out. The formula's predictable now. He goes big with outrageous threats, floods the headlines, builds pressure, and then quietly backs off just enough to save face. Sure, markets might start adjusting to his theatrics, but governments can't treat that kind of behavior lightly. Every single threat still rattles economies and triggers real costs. And that's why the Jivani episode, while it might seem small, actually reveals something much deeper: the dangerous instability hiding behind Trump's political theater. Canada is walking through one of the most unpredictable chapters in its relationship with the United States, and every move counts. In a climate this tense, discipline isn't just helpful, it's essential. Coordination and credibility have become Canada's real weapons in a storm of political uncertainty and public drama. Mark Carney and Mélanie Joly are holding the line, making sure Canada speaks with strength and unity instead of confusion and chaos. They're showing that staying organized and focused might just be the country's sharpest defense against the unpredictable waves coming from Washington. In times like these, standing firm and sticking to the facts isn't just smart, it's survival. Canada's calm, strategic approach could be the one thing keeping its diplomacy steady in an era where unpredictability rules the game. Comment, subscribe, And stay locked in with Canada Today, 13 for more clear, fact-driven analysis on how Canada is handling the pressure.